Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you're not a man.
That's it.
Well, as we get older, time flies by quicker and quicker. And this guy I was in Oklahoma City when he was, East Texas and Oklahoma City when he was a Longhorn pitcher, a great one. Helped Texas win a national championship in 2005. And we before this episode started, Adrian, you really put life in perspective. And I had 3 hair follicles remaining when we started this conversation. And I lost them when you said, you know what, I've been a head baseball coach in Sinton for 8 years. That doesn't seem possible that much time has passed by.
I'm telling you, man, time flies. And I guess it flies when you have fun is the saying, right?
Right.
So we're having some fun over here in Sinton, Texas, man.
That's a beautiful place located just, north of one of my special places at the special to you, Rockport, Texas. Get a chance, man. You've got to see Copano Bay, Aransas Bay. But we're going to hear a lot from Adrian about this story. He's developed really reignited a state power in Texas high school baseball. And before we get going, sponsor right here for the first segment, Honest AC and Plumbing, located in Hutto, Texas. And they'll serve North Austin and the greater suburbs north of town, where the handshake truly still means something. And they want to focus more. Obviously, we need heat right now, but it's, Adrian, winters are fickle here. You need to turn on the AC today, but also worry about plumbing because we've had some freezes here of late.
Texas weather, man, is unpredictable.
Absolutely insane. Even down there toward the coastline of Texas. It's crazy.
I had a few pipes break the last freeze, man. It ain't
fun.
It ain't fun.
No.
Yeah,
it's fun in your own home.
Yeah, it was. We live outside of the town, and barn pipes just froze over and busted, man. And here we go fixing that stuff. So I guess it's just part of the process, man. I think tomorrow's even supposed to be a pretty crappy day outside.
Another front moving through as we get teased by the sunshine we had today.
Oh, no, it's baseball season when they start seeing that rain and cold starts happening, man. They know it's around the corner and it's starting.
Indoor facilities. We need all communities to get their baseball program and indoor hitting facility.
We're getting one, man.
No way.
It's unbelievable. We were blessed with a big opportunity that came our way. Steel Dynamics is a company that just popped open about 2 years ago, and they're up and running now. I mean, they make steel around, and they forked out a ton of money to Sinton High School or Sinton ISD. We got $120 million, and we have a brand new indoor facility that it's almost built, 70 yards of indoor turf and drop down batting cages, new locker rooms, weight rooms, media rooms, you name it, man. And we're getting top of the line stuff here. So we got a little small college, I guess is what you would call it, and most people, but it's impressive to see. We're building a new high school as well. That's just behind the one that I'm standing in right now, man. Yeah. So we've got some big things coming around our area.
Progress in Sinton, and when you talk about athletics, when you win as much as that program does as a whole, boys, girls, baseball, football, things like that happen. So for those who may not know who Adrian Alaniz is, a lot of people who love Texas high school or Texas football, Longhorn football, and baseball, they do. I mean, he led this is a cool story because very rare does any individual get an opportunity to win a state championship as a player and then come back and coach the same program to a state championship. But look there in between, pitched a no-no against the Sooners in 2007. There's not many that have done that. Well, what stands out? You were a QB for Sinton, and you could have played college football, correct?
Yeah, that is true, man. My first scholarship that I ever got, football, baseball, was a full ride to play quarterback at Baylor. I still have the letter. Coach Steele was the head coach at that time, man, and it was after my sophomore year, I think, into the sophomore summer, and full ride and everything. And I really didn't know what to think of it, other than was really honored to have that opportunity. And I had a really good high school career here at Sinton playing quarterback. We went to the state championship my junior year, and we lost to a really good Everman football team outside of that Fort Worth area out there. But that same year we won a state championship in baseball, man. So it was, if you're in small town Texas, you just kind of gravitate to doing everything. Yeah. And that's what I did, and I loved it. And I played 4 years of high school varsity quarterback, and like I said, was good enough to have opportunities to go play college football somewhere. So I guess we just never would have known what would have happened if I would have chose that path, or gone to a school that was, recruiting me to do both, because there was opportunities to do that in certain spots. But I think I made the right decision in going to the University of Texas, man.
I think you did. There's no doubt about it. And because you got to play for one of the legends of the game, and we'll allude to that shortly. This is, I hate to be cliche, but there is a championship pedigree tied to your name and where you've been. You just kind of alluded to it. And it's really cool to watch and hear a story such as yours, because when you look at these photos, I mean, there he is on the far left, late great Augie Garrido, winning the state championship last year for Sinton, and then you walking onto the field that you once played on. That's an awesome picture, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
all the
man.
national championships UT's won.
Yeah, man. I got to give props to the guy who took that, Kevin Keller, out of Beeville, man. He snapped that photo, and I think I used that as my background on my Twitter or whatever. So that's a super cool picture, man. And maybe I got to get that thing framed, man. That's an awesome.
I would.
Man. But yeah,
that is one of a kind.
It's been truly remarkable, man. There was I guess last year was just kind of one of those memorable seasons that you just look back at it and you just go, wow, man. I mean, did that really happen? The type of kids that we have in our program, and the buy-in, plus all the extra stuff that people don't see, us go through. It just made it really special. But, kind of touching to that point of being back at the University of Texas, man, that's home away from home to me. And that just having to be in the dugouts that we were once in as a player, and, some of those signs that are still out there on the wall in the dugout, being quotes by Coach Garrido. And I was able to kind of take my team inside the locker room and just kind of get the whole little feel of it. Like, it just gave me goosebumps thinking, man, I don't feel like it'd been that long since I've been there.
It hasn't.
And look where we're at now. And just truly special and blessed and humbled for all the things I've been able to do. And, I thank God for the opportunities. And, man, it's just, like I said, it's just truly unbelievable.
I'll tell you what's unbelievable. And I know there are a lot of websites out there. There's a big, you alluded to it. Sinton has had a great flourishing athletic department for decades. But when you're singled out as the best baseball program in the state overall, I'm not saying this isn't deserved, but it gets your attention. It really does, because there are a lot of great baseball programs in the state of Texas. They listed you as the one. They listed all 50 states, I believe, obviously before the season started. When you saw that, did it catch you off guard? Because it is deserving, as I mentioned. Mm-hmm. But when you look at all the great names across the country as far as high school baseball programs, and you're amongst that list, I mean, a short list.
It's a prideful thing, man. I typically don't look too far into a lot of what the media says, but when you're constantly being put out there, from max preps to perfect game to who knows it. And, you're in the top, 10, top 20 in the nation going up. It's a prideful thing. Like I told you, man, to me, the way that our program has been able to kind of put itself out there over the last few years, it just goes back to all the hard work and dedication, not only from the kids' perspective, but the coaches that I have with me, man. I'm real blessed to have my younger brother coach with me. He's been with me for the full 8 years that I've been the head baseball coach. And he and I we work hand in hand. My other coaches with us, we just feed off of each other, man. And, any good baseball coach is going to tell you that, or any coach in general is going to tell you, you just can't do this stuff alone, man. I can't coach every position and tell them how to do things, offensively, defensively, by position, man. And my coaches do a really good job of, getting the best out of our kids. And, yes, we do have very talented ball players here in Sinton, and they've worked for these opportunities since they were little with travel ball and just constantly playing, as much of the game as possible. So, just once all those things kind of work together and they gel, and stuff like this happens where you get the notoriety on a national scale, it just kind of feels that fulfillment, that, we definitely deserve to be in those discussions because of all that hard work and that work ethic that our kids have. And, it's a special thing for not only for us now, but just for the future generations of Sinton high school baseball in general, man. I mean, you want to be the best and you want to be able to be on that scale, see what we do. And, we don't try to reinvent the wheel by no means. I've been very fortunate to have really good mentors around the way, starting from my dad to, Coach Kasprick, who was here as the head baseball coach, to Coach Garrido, and the list just go on and on and on, man. So I've kind of just been groomed and picked and pulled certain things from all the things that I've been able to experience. And like I said, I guess we're having really good success with all those things, man. So just truly blessed.
It's fun to watch. And I truly believe good things happen to good people who invest themselves into a passion or craft. And in this case, it's baseball. You mentioned your mentors. You and I could have a great conversation. We could talk for hours about who have poured themselves into us. I think anybody can, who's had some form of success in life. You can't do it without people, period. Mm-hmm. Other people. And Augie, I think we both can agree. He lived life how he wanted to, and he had a unique approach to coaching, in my opinion. But you played for him. I and 99% of people will never know what that's like. How does he influence you to this day that really changes the way you coach baseball?
Well, first off, it has to deal with just the outlook in life. Yeah. You ask any player that Coach Garrido had coached or been around, or he just put things in perspective that just allowed you to see things past the game of baseball and how to treat people right. And, the world is unfair to those out there. You're never going to get what you deserve. And, it's just one of those cliches that, Coach had a way to just connect with guys. And I've been super blessed and honored to be able to be around him for the 3 to 4 years that I was there at the University of Texas. And, he mentored me all the way through. And a lot of the things that he says in our post-game speeches and the way we talk about how we go about our business, I teach our kids, from 2-out hitting to how to approach, the pre-games and, dealing with adversity and how this game, doesn't, it's just hard it's hard to figure out. You're never going to figure out the game of baseball, but, just getting a young freshman group in, and every year I say this speech to all those guys when we have our baseball meetings, to that freshman team. My biggest goal is obviously to make you a really good ball player, however good you want to become, giving you all my time and my investments into, coaching you the right way. But at the same time, when you leave my program, I hope that you're a better young man than what you started this whole entire thing. And hopefully the things that we, learned throughout our experiences of baseball and life in general, can lead you into a platform to become a strong husband, just a mentor to somebody else, and just kind of continue to have those things being taught throughout your life. And I think Coach Garrido is a big testament to how I go about my business. And, we all loved those opportunities that he had given us when we were there with him, man. And, yes, not too long ago, I think it was yesterday, the day before was his birthday. So me and my wife were just talking about it. It's, I just wonder what would it be like just to have that conversation with him again, and just knowing how he's doing. And, but I know Coach is always watching over us from above, and he was a special man.
Hey, definitely was. Knew how to always deliver some laugh. I remember you may have seen the interview when Kyler Murray was going through recruitment, and he had his choice, obviously, football, baseball. And so, coaches can't comment on an unsigned prospect. Well, Augie says, if the one you're talking about, if we're talking about the one that you're talking about, I would buy him a Camaro, drive it to him, and say, here, you can drive it to Austin or something like that.
He probably would do something like that. Yeah, that's Coach, man. He had a way to just make you laugh, but then there was perspective behind it, right? Like that guy just had a way. That was him. It's just a jokester in himself. And man, some of the stories that we could talk about him were just funny and crazy. And I remember him getting thrown out at certain games, and just the way that he went about his business with that. He just makes you laugh and smile, but you respected the heck out of that guy. Him and Coach Harmon worked hand in hand. Both Coach Harmon was the guy that recruited me to come to the University of Texas, and a lot of respect not only for Coach Garrido but for Coach Harmon as well. Those guys, like I told you before, and any quality head coach knows that you can't do it without somebody else by your side. And I thought those guys did it the best.
They did great. Tommy, or Coach Harmon, has not aged. Hey, I don't know what. I want to know his secret. And of course, Coach Anderson, Frank Anderson.
Yeah,
he coached you, correct?
Well, he left. He was there. He left the year that I got to University of Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. We took in Coach Holliday, Tom Holliday, for I guess the 2 years that I was there. My freshman and my redshirt freshman year, and then after that, Skip Johnson came in as the pitching coach.
Skip.
Yeah, my guy Skip, man.
God, he almost won a national championship.
We were pulling for him, man. Like you and I were talking about before. I usually don't gravitate to Oklahoma. I stay within my roots in Texas, but the Alaniz household was pulling for, Skip Johnson and my buddy Clay Van Hook, who was over there at Oklahoma at that time, man. But that was cool to see those guys in that spotlight, because Skip was probably feeling a little heat over there at one point. Yeah. He hadn't been winning, and looking what they did last year was awesome to see, man.
He's like, hey, Joe C, get my contract. We came this close to winning a national championship. Where's the debate now?
Yeah, exactly, man. But Skip's one of those other genuine guys too, man, that I'd like to mention as one of my mentors. Like, I feel like I can pick up the phone and call Skip at any time, and he'll answer me, man. Text messages, you name it. Just a genuine dude, and another big mentor in my lifestyle. And from the pitching side of it, I learned so much about pitching when I got to him. He was my summer ball coach. We actually played. Before he got to the University of Texas, I really didn't know of Skip at all. Mm-hmm. We played for the Texas Collegiate League there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and me and Joseph Krebs and James Russell and Randy Boone, we all played for a team called the Coppell Copperheads, and Skip happened to be our coach for that team. And just being able to listen to some of the things, just sitting in on bullpens, I'm like, man, this guy's legit, man. He knows his stuff. And at that time, we had Tom Holliday had gone off to, I think he was going to NC State. So we really didn't have a pitching coach. And I remember some of us had called Coach Garrido and said, look, you got to take a look at this guy, man. He's the real deal, man. And I feel really good with what he's done with me. And so conversation happened, and next thing you know, Skip's our pitching coach, man. And boom, that next year, I think I ended up winning Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, and I went 12-3. And, yeah, my talent level was good enough to be able to have success before Skip got there, but I just felt like it elevated my game to another level. He just put things into perspective for me, and from the drills and the mindset and just making little minor tweaks and adjustments to my game. I still use them here, man. So, another guy that I attest a lot of my success and being able to, translate information to my high school kids.
How many times do you use the term Skip said a lot to your players? The 3 words, trust the process.
All the time. All the time, man. All the time. And it's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
You're never going to be rewarded for the things that you do. Like I tell on the offensive side, man, you guys, we get so result minded into things.
Mm-hmm.
We had situations in our last scrimmage that I talked about. We had a bases loaded with nobody out situation, and we got to run on a pass ball. And I'm like, guys, what's the mindset right here? You trust what you see, basically trust the process, eliminate the results from trying to drive in runs, to hit the ball hard somewhere. Results will come later if you can separate the two, man. But yeah, that's a slogan that we definitely use a lot on a daily basis in our practice routines, and even just talking about stuff post game around my guys.
I love that. I love the fact that is the hardest part for all of us in life. Just get out of our own heads, just follow the process, trust it every day. You have your own team. You're assembled at your own home, your family at home, and recently, I think it may have been, can't remember, one of your daughters. This is a birthday surprise that I saw. That
yeah,
right
man.
Here we go. Check this out.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Open it up. Who is that? Yes. We're going to go show everybody. Where are you going? We're going to go see Cody Johnson.
Oh, man, my girls.
That
Gets me
is
teared
big
up.
time. Cody Johnson.
We are big Kojo fans, man. That's my youngest daughter, Brooklyn. She just turned 6 yesterday. We had a little birthday dinner at one of the local restaurants here in town. And we've always tried to find a way to get to go watch Cody Johnson. We jam out in the truck to school, and it's just, my oldest daughter is 9. Her name is Briley. So both of them, Dad takes the girls to school. Mom picks them up from school because Dad's so busy with his schedule. But yeah, we finally found a time to go watch Kojo, and we're going to go to the Moody Center, I guess February 25th, and surprise the girls. That'll be the first time I'll ever get to step in the Moody Center. So I think that'll be a really cool experience, man. But my girls, they're my light, my love. Like I always talk about, even my younger brother, he just had a little girl. I said, dude, you need to be a girl dad at some point. Like, come on, make it happen, dude. And they had a little girl, but those two are funny. You ask my wife, they drive her nuts most of the time, but they're a special little group of girls, man. And I love being a girl dad. And like I said, finally we got a time to go watch a little bit of Kojo, and maybe he sees the tweet or something, right? And he likes it or retweets it. But that would be really cool, man. We're big fans.
For those who, a lot of people watching this know who he is, but for those who don't, he's a Texas country musician who, honestly, would you agree, has his own unique sound, unique songwriting, whatnot, unique sound.
It's very unique. It's almost to where, like, my wife grew up, listening to country music. She even says, man, he's just like what you think of a George Strait kind of deal. He's super talented, and the way he writes his songs, it's just country like it used to be.
Yeah.
Not the pop stuff like you hear anymore, like it's supposed to be, right? The good stuff is what we like out of Cody Johnson.
I know it makes us sound older, but some of us, some of this stuff is really not, in my opinion, to your point. It's not the legit what country is, but hey, life changes around us. Doesn't mean we have to like it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, man. But it's the generational thing that we see, man. Just like what we're talking about the game of baseball. I mean, things have changed in that game, and kids are different, and you got to appeal to certain things, and kids are interested in certain stuff that you're like, I really don't see myself liking that. But that's another thing for itself in coaching right now. I mean, these kids are there's things out there that makes this game interesting now. So it's fun.
It is, it's interesting. It keeps us on our toes as we age.
Yeah.
For our guys at manscaped.com, I'm not forgetting you, but we just want to give that code because we want to talk more with Adrian and not run out of time. Use that promo code MANCAVE20, manscaped.com. And what I say is our significant others, they don't want us to resemble the German Black Forest below the belt. So, use their beautiful tools and whatnot. But use that promo code for 20% off. Adrian, is there a man cave story or a story that you may have that you share with when you share with anyone or your guys you play with in Texas or back home in Sinton there that is absolutely hilarious, just like the time that it happened?
Holy moly. You're putting me on a spot. Oh, gosh. A story that
does it involve Brandon Belt?
Well, no, Brandon Belt was a year after me, man. He was post he was a post Adrian Alaniz era, man.
I'm getting my years all.
Yeah, man. We had a unique group whenever I was there at UT. My recruiting class was Drew Stubbs, Randy Boone, Carson Kiner, Nick Peoples, Chance Wheelis, Kyle McCulloch. I mean, we had those guys were, that was our recruiting class. Plus the JUCO group that we had was really good as well too, with David Merle and Will Crouch and Clayton Stewart, Dooley Prince, man. I'm just trying to think of a story that would be like, gosh, I can't believe that just happened. Let's see. Well, I guess some of the cool, remarkable things that we did, I guess the day that we won the national championship, we rented out an ice house there in Omaha, man. And I don't know if anybody was of age that needed to be there, or it didn't matter if you were age, but we rented that bad boy out, and let's just say there was no tabs at the end of the night. I remember taking my mom and dad had a Trailblazer, old small Trailblazer. They drove 15 hours from Sinton.
Woo!
So, and they stayed in Omaha for almost 2 weeks, man. And I don't even know how they racked up that bill or how they paid that bill at the hotel, man. But I remember coming back from being out at the bar late at night, and the hotel was still hopping at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and we caught a plane to Austin after that. And I remember being on the plane, and half of the guys weren't feeling too well for some odd reason. The president calls us on the phone while we're on the plane, and I mean, just cool little things like that nobody ever would kind of recognize and see. And I was real fortunate to be in front of the Senate and talk about, and be recognized up there with Coach Garrido and my parents. Yeah. I think that picture's still on the Texas sports websites, but man, just small little insights like that. I remember even the no-hitter situation, man. I remember there was like the 3rd inning or the 4th inning, and back at the old Dish Falk field, man, the turf was the AstroTurf, man. It had a huge crown in the middle of the field, and we knew how to play it. I mean,
of course,
we practiced on that all the time, right? And I remember I was in that 4th inning, and a dude from Oklahoma puts down a bunt, and I thought for sure, man, that dude beat it out, and David Merle was at third base, and I remember telling him, like, hey, just pick up the ball, like, there goes the hit, whatever, blah, blah. They got me on that. They got us on that one. And he didn't listen, and that ball just kept tracking down closer towards the bag. And I kid you not, maybe a foot or so before it gets to the base, it goes foul, and the no-hitter's intact. And, just stuff like that, man, just small little stories that, that in the moment you just never know about it, man. It's cool.
No, those are great stories. Great stories. And our guy Jim Saxton at Jim Saxton State Farm, he was a former Texas quarterback, defensive back. His father was a Longhorn great, the late great James Saxton, Heisman finalist. And that's who brings us the Man Cave story every week. Hey, Adrian, any story about Omaha and stuff like that, man, we could talk for hours.
Oh yeah,
there is no doubt. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. We're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll have some fun with Adrian about random sports topics. The Sinton, the legend from Sinton, Texas, is coming up on the segment 2.
Hi, I'm Stevie Lee, former defensive tackle for the University of Texas.
And I'm Clyde Hargrove. I'm a roofer.
I also saw action in 52 games.
And I fix a lot of roofs.
Also won a Rose Bowl and never lost to A&M.
And I fix a lot of roofs, right, Stevie?
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I zoned out a little bit.
So are you going to say that thing about Hargrove Roofing?
Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof.
Is this even going to work as a commercial?
This is JJ Gotch, CEO of the Austin Gamblers, and segment 2 of Stories Inside the Man Cave is next.
Adrian, LBJ, LeBron James surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's career scoring. And ever. I mean, obviously a GOAT, but I'm starting to realize, I don't know, man. I feel like he's not viewed that way for some reason. Am I off base on that, or am I just? I'm not trying to create clickbait. I just get that.
No, I feel the same way. You know, my wife and I have this discussion at times. LeBron James, to me, and I don't know if people just don't want to give him the notoriety that he deserves. You know, I personally don't feel like he's the greatest of all time. That's just me. I'm a big Michael Jordan guy. I've always thought that, you know, the things that he was able to do overall as an athlete, you know, aside from the scoring title that LeBron just took, Michael Jordan was just the overall defensive guy, you know, that grit, that guy that wasn't afraid to take a hard charge, just got in your face. Yeah. I just don't see that in LeBron James, you know. Yeah, he's got the numbers and he's got the hardware to kind of go with it. And hardware is kind of hard to not say that he was able to be considered the greatest of all time because, you know, he has done a lot in the game of basketball, man. But you know, I just look at the way that he goes about his business and the way that he plays the game on a daily basis. I just don't think that you can compare the two. Yeah. And MJ to me is that guy. That's fair. And MJ won more championships. There you go. LeBron has lost more. If there you go. I mean, I will say this. If anything, it's a 1A Jordan, 1B at best, LeBron. But I want to go ahead and say 2 for LeBron. You said it best in the fact that there's people just don't want to acknowledge it that he's that level, but he's not. He is not above MJ. Let's just face that. Yeah, and I think that LeBron, and to me, this may even be in his defense that you've got so much social media and stuff out there now that Michael Jordan and them, there's no way that, you know, people knew about some of the things that LeBron goes through on a daily basis. I mean, we're covering what they do on, you know, at home and, you know, what he said in a press conference to, you know, it's getting retweeted, you know, he's soft, he's a flopper, he's this, he cries, you know, like, I mean, maybe that stuff happened back in the day and nobody ever knew about it with Michael Jordan, his era. But, you know, to me, I think that's where kind of some of the people were like, I'm not really that much of a fan because you hear about it more now than what you did back then. But yeah, that's a tough thing. I think it's just the era that we live in right now, man. You just hear so many things now.
Valid point. I can't imagine if social media existed during the 80s, mid 80s when Michael and of course those great Laker teams toward the end of the 80s. Unreal. So Super Bowl 57 this week. First off, real quick, who Chiefs or Eagles for Adrian Alaniz?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles, man, for some reason. I like both quarterbacks. They're Texas high school quarterbacks. I'm a big Mahomes guy. I love the way that Jalen Hurts has kind of put himself out there as being a premier quarterback after going through the things he went through in college. So I'm definitely rooting for both of those guys. I just have a gut feeling that it may be the Eagles' time.
Yeah.
The hard thing about it is that it's hard to beat a winner like Patrick Mahomes. I think that guy finds ways to win. I think his defensive line is the best that, in the league, and they showcased that the last game as well. What Mahomes has been able to do without Tyreek Hill and some of the other guys that he's normally had. I mean, you look at that last game, man, he didn't really have 3 of his starters out there, and he still got the job done. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Eagles are going to win close, but it's going to be a good matchup, and I think I like Philadelphia in the outcome.
I'm with you. I've stood by it since AFC or the conference championship Sunday. I'm going to go with Philly somewhere in the 8 to 12 point range.
That's fair.
KC is legit. I mean, they're great. But Philly, I just think they are. There's a hunger there. And if they're healthier, I definitely think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But Kansas City, this time of year, all these teams are banged up. There's no doubt about it. TikToking the man cave. We all know TikTok has videos that are very random, very strange, some beneficial, and some a little misleading, such as this. And I'll preface it by saying that this comedian, if you don't follow him, you should.
I'm not going to lie, that's not where I seen that video headed, neither did you. We all need to head on down to the river, sing spiritual hymns, and get washed in the blood. Oh, man.
TikTok, man. I don't do TikTok. I don't have a TikTok, but I teach a bunch of students that like to make those videos, and they scratch my head sometimes, man. I think it's an addiction for a lot of our kids to be on that stuff, man. But yeah, TikToking is the thing right now, right? Everybody loves to watch them videos, and social media platforms are trying to gravitate to getting more of those little, 5 to 6 second, excerpts of videos out there. And I think even I do an Instagram, I do Twitter. I think Instagram's trying to get someone into those reels and stuff, man. But they're hilarious. I scratch my head. I like seeing the dance fails and yeah. But yeah, we do gravitate to late at night, maybe right before we're going to bed, watching a little bit of some of those videos, and I'm just dying laughing. People throwing firecrackers under somebody, and yeah, man, TikTok is there.
It is. It's addictive. It's a good way to lose 10 minutes of your life, maybe 30 minutes. I've been there. And I'm trying to get a grip. Trying to get a grip on it, Adrian.
Do you TikTok? Do you have a TikTok account?
I do it for the podcast platform.
There you go.
Then I'll find myself after I create, and what I create is nothing special. And then before you know it, I'm doing this.
Okay.
Yeah. And
all
I'm
the
like,
way through.
whoa. Then I look up, 20, 30 minutes gone. I'm like, man, I just wasted my life.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I think we almost went TikTok viral last year. I have a player of mine. He's a senior, Braden Brown. He's a third baseman pitcher. He's going to go pitch at Sam Houston State next year.
Awesome.
He's a big TikToker, man. I don't know how many followers the dude has, and maybe I just boosted his following now that we have this on his podcast. But we went to the regional finals last year, and we went to play Cal Allen High School, who's a big powerhouse as well, and they're 15 minutes down the road. And we played at Whataburger Field, which is the home of the Corpus Christi Hooks Double-A ballpark, and we packed that thing out with like 7,000 or 8,000 people that night. And I don't know if anybody if you have never been to the ballpark, there's a swimming pool in right center field. Well, guess what our guys decided to do after we won the last out?
And he'll have it. Sinton's going to the state tournament, Region 4 champions. And the Sinton Pirates appear to be going for the pool.
They jumped in the dang pool, man. They jumped in the pool, which I had no idea that they were going to do that. But I saw so many videos that were sent to me of TikToks made about the guys jumping into the pool. And, you know, I remember it was funny because I remember making we were up 3-1 going into that last inning. We made it interesting. Maybe it was just me being like, I don't know why I said it, but, you know, I was talking to the guys right before we went out on the field to make the final 3 outs and say, hey, boys, when this thing happens, let's act like we've been there before. Well, they didn't act like they've been there before. They freaking ran and jumped over the dang outfield wall, and they're jumping in the pool, and the rest is history, man. So Sinton Pirate baseball is definitely on TikTok last year for a reason.
Well, I do remember that game, and I kicking myself. I thought about it, man, that'd be fun to be a part of that environment, just to see it. Texas high school is, you know, everybody talks about Texas high school football, but Texas high school baseball is on the same level as it can be as well.
Coastal Bend baseball too, man. Coastal Bend is known for their baseball.
And I remember back in our day, Robstown was really good, but that's another episode.
Yeah, they're good too, man. They're still a good program.
Hey, man, tell me something good.
Adrian Alaniz, this is how we close out our episodes. Tell me something good and positive that you'd love to pass along to maybe inspire just one person who may be watching.
Something good and positive. Well, you know, I guess being a man of God and me and my family like to go to church and just be around the Lord and thank Him for all the many blessings that we are able to embark on a daily basis. Just making sure that we're right with Him in faith. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people aren't real, you know, spiritual, but I do believe that, you know, if we can allow ourselves to kind of get to a spot spiritually and be able to discuss certain things, and if things aren't going right in our lives, to be able to just open up about some of those things on a daily basis and pray is another thing. You know, I try to pray with our girls every single night before we go to bed, no matter what time of the night it is. And just like you said, we pray for our family, we pray for our friends. And if somebody's going through something that, you know, that is close to us or whoever it may be, we pray for them as well. So, you know, that to me is a genuine thing that I feel like many people would love to just, you know that, you know, take some time away to be able to, you know, think about somebody else and allow them to be blessed about, you know, whatever's going on in their life and put, you know, some of those things in perspective.
That was well said, my friend. That's a great message, because I think people are starting to realize, man, a lot of people are lost. And if you're spiritually connected, just simple thing of having faith. Yep. And we'll get you through and really help you see through this convoluted craziness that can be the world it is today. Or can be. It's really not as difficult as it may seem. So that message right there, that inspired me.
Appreciate
myself.
You, man.
Adrian, man, proud of you, man. Keep doing great things in Sinton, and hope to see you and your beautiful family soon.
Yeah, man. You owe us a dinner. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I do.
No, man, we need to catch up soon, man. But thank you for having me on, guys. I had a blast.
Hey, 100%. And to the Sinton Pirates, man, go win state again. If not, we'll see you here in Austin in June. And for Adrian Alaniz, the pride of Sinton, Texas, and the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harbs, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up.